Well, it's happened, ladies and gentlemen. It's here and there's no way around it. I am officially old and mold. Mostly mold, but also old. I'm officially 40 years old, and it's stupid. Oh, I guess I should do my intro shit. Welcome to Rock Up Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Rocket Podcast is brought to you by Blackbird Tattoo and Piercing, 300 South State, Clearfield, Utah. Go there, you can get tattooed or you can get pierced. You can get both in the same day if you could stand the pain and got the money for it. I'm going to be up there this Saturday letting crazy Navajo jab needles into my neck. Why? Because I'm a glutton for suffering. I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know why. Because I have to finish my fucking neck tattoo. But yeah, man. Go up there, get tattooed, get pierced by both of the gentlemen there. Sorry, I needed to take a sip. As you can tell, I got a little bit of the coronavirus going on. Just kidding, I like Modelo Negro. But, yeah, I fucking got a little... Every time it goes from winter to spring, I get a little thing in my throat. Not a dick, but like a thing, like an irritation in my throat. And a bit of a runny nose. So, there's that. Yeah, man. You guys can always... Fuck, man. I'm getting sidetracked here like a motherfucker. Also, special shout out to Anti-All Forever. Go to Spikes and Hate Envy. Or Spikes and Hate Etsy store. Go to the Etsy store and look up Spikes and Hate. Dear God. And buy all their shit. Spend money there, support it. They have a lot of great bands on there. So definitely support that. Support the real fucking underground metal that's playing and shit, man. Don't, they're doing it. They're not doing it to make millions and millions of dollars. They're doing it because they fucking love the music. So, yeah, man, support the real motherfuckers up in this bitch. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, seriously, support that shit. You guys can always reach me, Joe Redbeard, at rockuppodcast@gmail.com, and I will get back to you if you email me. Or you kiddos like to use the social medias, you guys can hit me up on Facebook, maybe Twitter, sometimes Instagram. Oh, by the way, I have an Instagram, and I post some funny shit on there. I also have a YouTube channel, but I only have like a couple videos up on there. Whatevs, bitch. So like I said, I turned 40 years old this couple weeks ago. Well, since the last time you've heard me, I turned 40, and on this February 22nd, my wife threw me a pretty great birthday party. We had burgers, we had bratwursts, we had hot dogs, beer, whiskey, cigars, other stuff to smoke. And yeah, man, a lot of my family came through that, always come through for me. And my oldest son was here, and that was terrific. Love seeing him. My mom, my aunt, it's just a whole bunch of great people over here hanging out with me and celebrating me getting old. Did have a couple celebrities here over at the house for to celebrate all that is me. We had First off, we had Mike Cadaver from the Corpse Cast Cadaver Lab. He came by. He didn't stay long enough to have a bratwurst with me, but he did bring me a bottle of Jack Daniels that was basically inhaled that night. That thing stood no chance. We downed that fucking thing like within a few hours. But thank you very much, Mike. We very much enjoyed it, and it was great seeing you. Go Cougars! Also from 9 Cents Podcast and then a bunch of other shit. Reverend of the Church of Satan, Reverend Adam Campbell, came by with his lovely wife, and we had some cigars and some whiskey, and we chatted. And always great to see them. So thank you, Adam and Shauna, for coming over. And also from Blackbird Tattoo and Piercing, the tattoo/piercer, old Cameron John, my favorite Navajo that has ever tattooed pale skin, came over with his lovely wife, and got to hang out with them, and we did drunk. So yeah, man, it was a fucking great birthday party. Had a terrific time. Finished the night out perfectly, just smoking cigars and drinking whiskey and beer with some of the best people I know. And my brother called me the next day, which I was very excited about hearing from my brother. I miss him dearly. Not to sound like a fucking emo bitch, but I seriously miss that motherfucker dearly. So my oldest boy, this last Monday, turned 22. Yes, I have a 22-year-old. And, yeah, man, he turned 22 this last Monday. If you do the math, you can figure out that I just turned 40 and he turned 22. So I was 18 when I was a father for the first time. There's something in the water in Kearns where your pull-out method sucks, I guess. I don't know. Fuck. Anyway, so we went to dinner, me and my wife and the little guys and my oldest boy. We went to a place called House of Tibet. It's a local restaurant here, just like First East and 1300 South. It's a really special place to us. I know the owner. He wasn't there and I didn't see him. I haven't seen him in years, but great people. They fucking, really cool immigrant story. They got the fuck out of Tibet and came to America, and yeah, man, they run a little restaurant making veggie momos and the cheese momos that are like sweet. They have sugar in them, so it's like a dessert. And great food, chicken curry and chicken noodles and everything. So it was great. It was terrific going to dinner with my oldest boy. That's the place he chose because it's special to me and my family. So if ever you're in downtown Salt Lake City, go check out House Tibet. Get some food there because the food's really good and the place is just very nice place. Great people that run the place. So yeah, man, that's fucking basically what's been going on over here the last 2 weeks. So yeah, man, that's it for the last 2 weeks. Occultist Ritual added new members. They were on the podcast, the new members that joined the band, and they just remastered like their latest songs with the new members and stuff, and they just released a 4-song EP. One of them is a cover song, and so they have that up on Bandcamp now for $4 for 4 songs, which I think is very fair. But it's a new Bandcamp. It's not the old Bandcamp thing that they had. It's under a different name. Now the new stuff is under Occultist with a K, Occultist Ritual Horde Bandcamp.bandcamp.com. And that's where you go to buy the Occultist Ritual new stuff. And it sounds terrific. It sounds great with the new members in there. So without further ado, I'm going to play a song from it. I'm going to play, let's see, where are we? I know how to do a podcast. Just kidding, I don't. Secret War of Abomination, Cultist Ritual. See that? That's a gun, that's not them. Yeah, no, that's not them. That's from Scarface. That's from Scarface. Yeah, that was Al Pacino. This also isn't them. This is someone else. Okay, here they are. Secret War of Abomination by Occultist Ritual. Be sure to check that shit out at occultistritualhorde.bandcamp.com. Alright guys, I gotta get serious with you for a minute. I'm not even being facetious this time. Excuse me. So, around Valentine's Day, a daughter of a friend of mine passed away from congenital heart disease. I think she was like 7 or 8. It's something that a parent should never have to go through, burying their child, saying goodbye to their child. It's a tragedy. It's absolutely just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. So, in memory of Delaney Pond, There was a little compilation CD or a little compilation album put together from several mutual friends. You can buy that compilation. And it's a lot of hardcore bands. It's mostly like from like the hardcore genre and stuff. At heartofawarrior.bandcamp.com. And the proceeds from that, it's $10 for the compilation, and the proceeds from that go to research for congenital heart disease, which is what the little girl had. There's also a show coming up to benefit that, and probably proceeds go into her family, pay for, how expensive funerals and all that stuff is if you've had to bury a loved one. But a show coming up here in Utah, and that's April 4th at Gold Blood Collective. It's $10 to get in, and a couple of the bands that are playing, Charum, who's a great Utah hardcore band, just terrific, Tamerlane, who's incredible, and Crow Killer, who's another great band here from Utah. So, if you're able to, please go support that. If you're not able to make it to the show, at least go to the Bandcamp, heartofawarrior.bandcamp.com, and buy the compilation. Let's see. On the compilation, Tamerlane does a cover of the Breakdown song Sick People, which they did years ago, but and it was terrific, absolutely terrific. But yeah, they kind of put their own like little Tamerlane flair to it. Also, City, bands to mention on there. City to City's on there, fantastic. Despite Despair, always very very sincere and kind of emotional, but like still with the still with that hard edge. X's, who's fucking great, almost kind of a borderline like black metal kind of thing. And then DTA, Don't Trust Anybody, absolute favorite of mine. Think old school hardcore, Cause for Alarm, Agnostic Front, like that kind of stuff, Warzone kind of stuff. DTA has been around since 1998. That's 22 years of DTA, and those guys are just terrific. So that's what's on the compilation that you could get from Bandcamp. And then, the show on April 4th at Gold Blood Collective. So if you're able to, please go support that. It's just a heartbreaking a situation for any parent to have to go through. And, it's, I don't know. I kind of get a loss for words when I talk about a child, a child like having to go through that kind of thing. I had a little cousin that died from cancer, and I don't know, it still fucks me a little bit. So, yeah, not trying to make the show super like depressing or whatever today, but that is a worthy cause worth mentioning, and my heart goes out to the Pond family, especially Tanner. Who's an old buddy of mine. So, yeah, support that stuff, and I would really appreciate it, and I'm sure they will too, and, help research this congenital heart disease thing, so more little kids don't have to go through this nonsense. Ritual Genocide. Oh my god, Lightning Insurgents. Two bands lately that I've just been playing nonstop. Ritual Genocide and Elegiac. Absolutely love those two bands. Just phenomenal stuff. Really aggressive. Really pissed off. Love them. Fantastic. Fantastic. So I mentioned Crowkiller a minute ago. They have their album Enslaved to One up on Spotify, Bandcamp, I don't know, Amazon, all the streaming services and what have you. It's on there, so go check that out, support it. Fantastic band. I saw their beginning, and they've never disappointed me at all. So definitely go check out Crowkiller, Enslaved to One on any of the streaming services deals. All right. So switching gears a little bit. I'm now 40 years old. Growing up, I had no white friends in Utah, which is surprising. I had no white friends. I grew up with a Samoan family across the street from me and my older brother. And that was like circa 1983, 1984. So, all my life, when memories are forming, there were 7 of them, and, the youngest 2 and me would ride big wheels together. I had the fucking Knight Rider big wheel. It was the shit. It was sleek and black, and then those 2 guys had some weird Voltron robotic shit. Anyway, their dad, this is what I alluded to earlier, but I stopped myself. Anyway, their dad, a man named Kopolani Painamalie. To all the white people, he went by Tom. He passed away on my birthday. He had a bad ticker, and 10 years ago he had a heart attack, and then after that, his health it kind of just went in a downward spiral. Anyway, he passed away on my birthday. I went to his funeral with my mom, and it was a bittersweet reunion with his sons, because I love and miss all of them, but people go their separate ways in life, and that's just part of life. And now I'm kind of more in contact with them, especially the second oldest one, Jeff. But yeah, it was bittersweet, and I saw, they used to take me everywhere with them and introduce me as their adopted white son. And, my mom, they would call my mom, and I would call their mom, and I would call their dad, who just recently passed away, I would call him dad. So every once in a while, like recently, even before Kopilani died, I was like remembering things he would do, because we're trying to get my boys to, nap and sleep at night, and they're 3. So when he would want his kids to sleep, he would say, "Sleep!" Right? And when he wanted to get their attention real quick, Samoans do this thing where it's like, the shh noise, but like really hard and harsh and fast. So it's like, shh, sole. I've been finding myself doing that to my kids lately. Just because growing up, I heard that like 1,000 times a day. Shh. That kind of deal. It's funny the things you pick up and not really realize as you're growing up. And, I'm like a part Irish, part Finnish white boy, and I'm doing these things that I kind of by default picked up from a Samoan man who is, from Western Samoa. But it was sad, and I got to say my goodbyes to him, and it was sad, but it was also there was also a nice aspect to it. A few things I remember about him really well. He was from Western Samoa. He had a pretty good accent. He had a pretty thick accent. When I was a kid, I went by Joey, right? And he called me Joyce. And it was kind of a running joke amongst like me and his sons. They call me Joyce. But yeah, he would call me Joyce. Because, I don't know, couldn't say Joey? I don't know. But yeah, that's the first thing that immediately pops into mind. That and the shh thing. Anyway, he was a veteran. He was a Navy veteran. He was born in 1938, and then he went into the Navy. And I think that put him serving during the Vietnam era, but I don't think he served in Vietnam. I don't think he ever went to like Southeast Asia. But yeah, he was a Navy man. He was a veteran. Before that, he was a boxer. He was a champion boxer and rugby player. And they would always, like his brother and other people that grew up with him in Western Samoa that would eventually come over to the States, would talk about what a great boxer and rugby player he was, which is kind of funny because he was short like me. But I do remember him teaching me and his youngest son, who was my age, Spencer, who was like my closest friend growing up, like just always there for me and stuff. Anyway, me and him in their front room of their house on Jeremiah Drive, which is where we all kind of grew up. It was like a new development in Kearns for, working class families. Anyway, I remember him teaching us to box in his front room with their big ass yellow couch. But yeah, he taught us to box in their front room. He taught us basic boxing skills. And it's funny because a few years ago, before the boys were born, I was working with 2 guys who were amateur boxers, and yeah, I was working with these 2 guys that were boxers, and they're amateur boxers, but they knew the basics and had several fights. So we're talking about striking and guard and basic boxing stances. They told me, it was Andreas who I was talking to. Anyway, he's like, get a boxing. He told me to take a boxing stance. Or we were fucking around and I took a boxing stance. And he's like, hey man, you have a really good boxing stance. And I didn't really realize it. I kind of just like innately did it because that's what he taught us over and over again. But apparently it was a good one because he commented on it. He's like, hey man, you have a really good boxing stance. And I was like, oh, cool. Bring it on, fucker, you know. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things he taught me. He had a front tooth that was gold, which was great whenever he would laugh. And the way he would laugh, here you go. So yeah, man. But I mean, he lived a nice long life. If you're doing the math at home, you know, the man was 82 years old, you know. So it still was bittersweet, and you know, I'm really thankful to have had him as kind of a second father to me, and his sons look out for me all my life and all that stuff. So it was a nice kind of little homecoming. It really reminded me of that song by Tyler Childers, that Virgie, I'll Follow You to Virgie or whatever. But that's about a woman, so it'd be more like applicable to like their mom, Tubu, who I'm you know, absolutely adore. But yeah, it was nice. It was sad but nice. You know, he was 82. So anyway, guys, here's a fucking song. You fucking fuckers. That was Savage. Did I just say Savage? Let's start again. Only I can't edit this part out. I just can't. We gotta keep shit real. Savage necromancy triumphed siege of all Christendom. With that long of a name and that long of a title of a song, couldn't they have just called it like Triumphant Siege? I don't know, man. Cool song, definitely. Not gonna shout on the song. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Maybe shorten the title of your songs a little bit. And if you have a really long name like Savage Necromancy, a lot of letters in that, shorten the names of your songs so it doesn't make it a pain in the ass for me. Okay? That'd be great. But who the fuck am I? Right? Who am I to tell you anything about anything? I don't know. Nobody, really. I mean, I downloaded it for free, so I really can't bitch about anything. You know what? That's kind of what it boils down to. I can't bitch about anything, really. You know? Nothing. Dear God. So, this part of the show, I'm just going to ask about, like, what's going on with the whole... God. What's with the toe sucking thing? What's with the toe sucking? And why does it cost $50? In the news recently, there have been 2 cases, people just out of nowhere approaching a person that's asleep or in a hospital and just sucking on their toes. Like sucking their fucking toes. And I'm saying, sex workers, give people a discount. If all they want to do is suck some toes, don't charge $50. Charge 10. You know, they're doing you a service. They're cleaning your toes with their tongues, which is gross. God, when you really think about it, that's really fucking gross. Can you imagine someone's tongue on your toe? Like, someone's tongue on your toe. Like, slurping in between the cracks and shit? What the fuck is wrong with people? Why is that a thing? Why is this popular? Why did your generation, young fucks, make this a goddamn thing? Toe sucking. It's a thing. Do you know how much people growing up in the 80s and 90s heard about butt sex? About, like, butt fucking and butt eating, like ass eating? Never. We never heard that shit. We never heard about any of that. At least not in Utah. And if that is fucking suppression, then sign me up for 10 more years because you motherfuckers have gone crazy. Everything's about eating a butt. Like, why would you eat a butt? Poop comes out of there. You know, I can see if you're really drunk and it's, you know, you're just going crazy, but goddamn, man. Like, on the regular? This is just a regular thing people are doing? Hey, eat my ass, okay. Ass is on the menu now? That's fucking weird. Even butt fucking is fucking weird to me and gross. I don't know, man. Poop comes out of there. There's poop. There's poop involved. Isn't there? I don't know. I've only entered a few young ladies' back doors and, well, it's been a while. And I don't really want to revisit it. You know, the mouth and the vagina are perfect for me. They're plenty. That's all I really need. You know, I'm a happy man. I'm a man of simple pleasures. I like a nice bourbon or whiskey. You know, I like a nice white trash beer every once in a while. And I like a nice robust cigar. And I don't need to eat an ass. And I don't really want my ass to be eaten. I don't know. I no longer want to be part of this conversation. You guys are weirding me out just by planting fucking thoughts in my head subconsciously about, like, eating a girl's ass. Her vagina is right there. Go for the gusto. Yeah. Anyway, I'm putting the kibosh on this conversation now. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. I hope you enjoyed all the music, and I will talk to you fucking assholes later, man. Here you go. Here's Jeremiah Crow. I'm going to be playing a lot of him anymore. I want to play more country music on this thing, and like bluegrass and, dark bluegrass and country music and that stuff. Because I love country music along with like my death and black metal and war metal and stuff. But I also love country music, so I'm trying to introduce a little bit more of that. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Thanks for tuning in.
Dark crimson red, I am baptized in a river of blood. The tide from martyrdom, suffering in His love, to be cleansed in Jesus' blood. Wash away my sins, to be forgiven for all the killing. Dark crimson red, it flows in my veins instead, blessing from the Lord to wage mortal war upon a Christless heathen world. Wash away my sins, to be forgiven for all the killing. Atheists, non-believers, I am death at your unwilling call. If this is false, why does God not stop me? Does He love His children at all? Am I saved?